Thank you, Mr. Newman. And I feel comfortable saying I've been to a lot of Senate hearings, although I am a first-termer, so that limits how sweeping this statement might sound. But I don't think I can remember being on a panel where I have any one of you I could spend an entire day with and want to hear, A, how you grew up, how you ever got to this position in your life, and you all are representing essential, important, key factors as we make this incredible transition. So I already am recognizing that we're not going to have enough time, so I'm going to just warn the witnesses that they will be badgered at some time in the future for additional questions, I am sure. Let me start around Workday. Obviously, creating many of the AI tools that across America that America is using. Mr. Lannon, in your testimony, you noted that Workday really strives and makes every effort to develop products that are going to enrich and not automate human decisions. So in your view, how should employers work with employees as they think about different types of automated decision-making? Well, let's start with that.
Thank you, Senator. It starts with that point of view that, as we say, puts a person at the center of the experience. And so when we think about developing an experience, we think first about the employee and how they're using AI. And we have several principles I want to kind of unpack in terms of like how we apply that principle in our product experience. When you're using a product of AI in an area where you are applying judgment for something that's important, bringing someone on board into your organization, promoting them, it needs to be very clear to the user that they're engaging with AI. And that is very critical. Secondly, they need to know how they're passing data into the AI to make a decision. What's the basis for the information that's coming back from that AI system that they're evaluating and looking at? And we've learned from talking to employees and sort of looking at how they use our products that if they have those two things in place, they have a better sense of what's happening and they can then apply their judgment to any resulting decisions or content that's being created for them to apply that into their work environment. And that's what gives them the confidence in using the AI systems. It's also what gives the employers the confidence in using the AI systems. So from the perspective of the employers, they want to know what types of AI is powering the systems. They want to know that we've evaluated those risks. They want to know that we've really continued to invest in understanding when AI is used. And we treat AI as something that customers can opt into, not opt out of. Now, it is the case that over 80% of our customers at Workday have opted into using our AI solutions, but that's a conscious choice, and we have to provide them a lot of information to substantiate that work.
Great. Thank you. And I have more questions, but I'm going to go around the horn first. So we're in the beginning stages of what I always think of as the great transition. And it's not just to clean energy, but it's our worlds are changing simultaneously. But as we're doing that, we're building the careers of the 21st century. Mr. Billingsley, in your testimony, you allude to how Tulsa, and I know Oklahoma City better than I know Tulsa just because there's a band there called the Flaming Lips that I'm listen to occasionally. But you allude to how Tulsa, specifically the community of Greenwood, was left out of the last technological revolution. What lessons can we learn to effectively incorporate AI literacy training into our workforce development in smaller rural communities, and particularly, from my point of view, small businesses?
Thank you, Chairman. I would actually speak about Greenwood kind of being a microcosm for marginalized communities across the country. We know communities of color and typically, underserved ones are often left out of these kinds of technological revolutions, which leads me to why I made my third point. I think it's critical for when it comes to making policy and advising in terms of how we're going to build the infrastructure to ensure AI is, something that everyone has access to. We have to over-index in the communities that have historically been left out, because we know that AI already has the potential to cause a lot of disruption. But if that's layered on top of a community that already didn't have some of the basic resources, whether it be from broadband or, computer literacy from a previous, technological jump, we could see, a worse effect. But that's not to speak of the negative aspects. That's to speak of the positive aspects. Think about some of the unleashed creativity potential that could happen if systems were developed specifically around ensuring that people in these communities were able to have on-ramps to be trained in them and also get jobs in the field. And when I say the field, I don't mean AI as its own vertical just specifically, but I also mean many of the high-growth industries that we know will last, for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely. No, I get that the overlapping nature of some of our previous technological revolutions or disruptions did leave, they left whole communities behind, and now we run the risk of compounding those gaps. I'll turn it over now. We're out of time. I'll get back to you guys later, but for now, I'll turn it over to Ranking Member Braun.